Hello and welcome to this MGO2 PC tutorial. The objective of this tutorial is to show the most fundamental skill in the game, I believe, to take new players' aim to a whole new level. Okay, for this video I will be selecting AR2 Run 2, which is a very common combination of skills in the game. Now we are going to enter solo training, which is a great way to test settings and great basic aim training. Of course, nothing will ever completely replace actual matches for perfect aiming. Before we start, let's have a look at the gameplay options I feel are most important and what they do. Normal view movement speed is the camera speed before you hold the L1 button. Over the shoulder view movement speed is the camera speed when L1 is held. Now let's go to the third tab. There are two settings I will focus on, which are view change speed and lock-on settings. View change speed is the speed of the transition from when you press L1 from the normal view camera into the over the shoulder view camera. The speed of that transition between those two cameras. Most people may prefer to set this at a speed of 10. However, it should be noted that top players such as Solid007, Nightfox, and even the legendary DS use much lower view change speeds, maybe a 5, maybe even lower. And those guys, you may as well be picking up, a bar of soap in prison. They're that good that you may as well be doing that. So don't think, from this that, oh, I need to set this at 10. No, everyone might be different. And if you have it set at a lower speed, it gives you more time to aim with the normal view camera as opposed to the other camera, the over the shoulder camera. So that's the advantage of that, so just bear that in mind. Now I would also say that lock-on settings should be enabled. This can be very handy in close quarter combat. I'll not be covering this much at all, as it is fairly simple. All I will say is that it is square to activate in the game, which I've enabled in the gameplay options. Please note that on PC, FPS impacts camera speed in a big way, so do not expect to be using speeds of 10 comfortably. Now, you should have a firm grasp of settings in the game and what exactly they do, so we can now look at MGO2's aiming system. In a lot of third-person shooters, you aim using the centre of your screen. However, MGO2 is more sophisticated than this, but players still aim really accurately without using, a dot at the centre of your screen or anything like that. In MGO2, something like 80% of the aiming you do is done before you press the L1 button. Now, I'm going to slow down some clips of me aiming on training dummies to help show you the secret of aiming in the game. In these clips, I'm going to show you two ways to aim for when you have your camera set to your left shoulder or the right shoulder. Here is an example of using my back or shoulders to help aim. Note it is not the center of the screen. Here is an example of me popping out the wall. Here is an example of both the examples you've just seen, but just using my right shoulder instead. Okay, so this might look tough at first, but it's actually really simple and very satisfying once you have it down. Now, what I want you to do is please pause the video when you get the chance and open your game, then find your way into Solo Training BB and follow along. Okay, so you're now in game. First, let's get your camera head height. Some players when starting out will aim at their teammate's head to help set the camera around this height. In my example that I want you to follow, I will aim at the enemy's head and then run around a bit and come back to head shoot the dummy without having to move my right stick at all. Hopefully, at this point, you realise just how easy aiming truly is, considering I only had to press my left stick and shoot pressing L1 due to my camera already being at head height. This means that I didn't have to use the right stick and I just had to walk past the enemy and shoot his head. At this stage, as a new player, you should be much more prepared. If you're brand new to this game, then I recommend trying out solo training and killing lots of dummies just to get used to it. It doesn't have to be perfect now. Heck, even my own isn't perfect now, especially with the right-sided aim. But you should notice improvement quickly if you were completely new to the game and you weren't aware of this concept. In a real game, things can be different, as the enemy can crouch and move around in special ways, sometimes even using the cardboard box to do so. I suggest that you develop your own style of dodging to make yourself harder to hit. It's kind of like dancing around in the game. Every player has their own sort of dance, and and it helps you avoid bullets and basically not take the headshot or the L. Well guys, before I go, I highly recommend that you check out our tutorial section on mgo2pc.com. And I also suggest you check out the training archive in the MGO2 PC Discord. There's lots of videos, different perspectives, and it'll cover a lot more than just this training guide, like how to knife, which is essential for things like TS&E. Learning these little things can make you so much more of a well-rounded player. However, I still stick by what I said. If you learn what's in this video, you'll be able to survive all that. You could even become one of the better players in the game easily if you get this core principle down. Without learning all the other things, you'd still be a fairly good player at this game. But that doesn't mean that you can't become better and learn other things. And what I just want to say is, thanks for watching, and hopefully this will inspire someone new that's been struggling. Like, I see a lot of new players that are getting like 0 kills, 10 deaths, and it's just because they don't know this principle, they haven't practiced it. But I feel like if there were loads of third-person games with this principle, it's actually, the skill curve is actually tiny. It's really not that bad. Like, there are loads of games like this, people would not be struggling at this game at all. You know, you have loads of Call of Duty games, loads of games that are similar, and people find them easy to adapt to because they're used to the same game every year and you know. So yeah, anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys on the battlefield, and I hope that you improve from this. Goodbye.